Welcome to the Continual Growth podcast, where we help you kill every day and own your fucking life. I'm Bwanka. It's episode 39, and we got a special guest for you today. Okay, his name's Warren Ward. Warren, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Okay, so let me tell the people a little bit about Warren, because this guy's been a lot of places and done a lot of things.
Sure.
All right, so he was an All-Canadian in university. He was a member of the men's national team, the Canadian men's national team. He did workouts with multiple teams in the NBA. He played overseas in Germany, France, Spain. He was Canadian of the Year in the NBL. And most recently, he published his first ever children's book. And it's a tongue twister, man. This one gets me every time. The Quest of Clyde McCall.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a hot book. We're going to talk about that today also.
No.
Okay, so Warren, tell the people a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your journey, and then we'll touch on some more things as we go.
Okay, cool. I am a London boy. I was born and raised there. I lived there since I was 13. Then I moved
London,
to Brampton.
Ontario, stand up.
That's right. Shot.
Okay.
I lived there since I was 13. I moved here when I was 14-ish. I started playing basketball around then. I played soccer, all my life. So I've been in sports. I have two older sisters. I'm the youngest of three.
Mm-hmm.
Come from a good home. I love my family. They're probably the most important thing to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to get into your basketball journey, because me growing up, man, I love basketball. I've told you this before.
That's right.
I thought I was going league, and as I got older, I'm like, all right, maybe I can go NCAA.
Right.
And as I got older, I'm like, man, I'm gonna just go CIS. Like I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
And I just ended up going to college and working and whatnot. But
right.
you made it, man. You played professional basketball. So walk us through your journey and your story from A to Z.
I like that. Okay, well, we'll start off. So when I got to Brampton, I stopped playing soccer. I went to one practice with Brampton East.
Mm-hmm.
Went in the car, I told my dad, I was like, nah, bro, this ain't for me. I'm done. I was like, let me just pick up basketball. So, my second.
Hold on. Were you tall back then?
No, I wasn't.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
6'5". Okay,
Yeah.
He's a giant compared to me.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", pretty much 6'6" with shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 5'8" when I got to high school. 5'8", 5'9". So I was always tall for my age.
Yeah.
But I never took basketball seriously.
Yeah.
I was just, I was decently good at it. But like I said, my second sister, she played and she was really, really good. So I would always try and compete with her. And, don't tell her this, but she used to destroy me when I was growing up. So, yeah, so we was like, we was really competing, and things got intense most times. So I broke her glasses one time. I got so mad.
Shit,
Yeah, man, yeah. We used to go at it. So we used to compete, and my dad used to call us, he called me Reggie because I was skinny, right?
Reggie Miller.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he called her Cheryl because she was the truth.
Yeah.
Right? So he used to say that, and I'd be like, I'm gonna beat her. So
Okay.
that's where I got my initial drive from. So I've always had that kind of chip on my shoulder. So when I got to high school, I wasn't recruited by anybody. I just wanted to play basketball. So I tried out for the team, made grade 9, made grade 10, played senior in grade 11, but I didn't get what I wanted in high school.
Mm-hmm.
At the time we had Tristan Thompson there. He had all the recruits, and in hindsight, I wanted that. I thought I deserved.
So for those of you that don't know Tristan Thompson, he's a professional NBA player now.
Right.
He plays in the league.
Right.
Plays for the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was my high school teammate, and I always wanted that type of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted, I dreamt of that kind of stuff actually. So, I started to really watch Tracy McGrady when I got to grade 10, grade 11, and I just patterned my game after him.
Okay.
And I just saw myself getting better and better each year, and that's where some of my initial beliefs started to come in myself. So once I started getting letters from schools, and I went to a couple, whether it was tournaments down south or camps, I went to 5-star camp, and I actually, I have the biggest trophy in my house. So I won the MVP of that, that whole thing.
Okay.
So when I was there, that's when I started to really say to myself, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I chose to stay in Canada. I went to University of Ottawa, and then that's when the work and development for my basketball journey really started. Those first 2 years, my freshman year, my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Those 2 years is when I developed my body, developed my game, and I developed my work ethic.
And what kind of stuff were you doing to develop your body, develop your game, and that work ethic?
Okay, well, we lost to Western. We lost to Western by 20. So that's how we started the season, and that's how we ended it at Nationals. So, for example, I didn't go home in the summertime. Everyone else went home. All my team went home.
Yeah.
I stayed. I got with this guy, Mr. Alan Horton. He's my trainer throughout my entire 5 years of school.
Yeah.
And I worked out every single day on my game for an entire summer. Didn't do anything else.
So you're doing like weights shooting.
On the court. I probably would have spent about 10 hours a day working out.
Okay.
Day after day and hour after hour, and it wasn't work for me. I loved it because I thought to myself, okay, this is what pros do. This is what guys that I want to be like do. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it even better, even harder.
Okay, so all the guys on your team, they go back home. They go to back where they're from. They're probably just chilling.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
They're enjoying their summer.
Yeah, for sure.
What was driving you, making you think like, yo, I gotta stay and I gotta be putting in 10 hours while everybody else is out there having fun?
I wanted people to really take me seriously as a basketball player. I wanted at the time, because I didn't know exactly where all my ability was coming from, which is in here. I needed people to recognize me. Okay. And that was kind of the fuel, because I was like, you know what? Like, fuck this. Like, you guys are gonna know my name. I'm gonna dominate. In September, what I'm saying, when everyone comes back, in October, when everyone comes back, you guys are gonna know me. And I used that every single day. I missed out on the rookie of the year, actually. Yeah. So that pissed me off too.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what lit the fire.
Exactly. So all those things just kind of lit the fuel. And in hindsight, the fact that I was looking like outside of myself or all that type of stuff, I probably shouldn't have done that. But that's what I knew at the time, and I'm glad I did, because it all that stuff brought me here. Right.
Okay, so you, after that summer of working in there 10 hours every single day, did you notice a big difference come the following season?
Well, the captain of the team, or one of the captains of the team, named Dax and Dave Lebenowitz, they said when Dave DeVero, our coach at the time, they said like, yo, Warren's the best player on the team right now.
All that work paid off.
And I was just going to my second season, right? And we had another guy named Josh who he was our best player for sure. It probably wasn't me, but everyone knew I was next after that summer. So I separated myself from all the other rookies on the team. Everyone knew I took this shit serious, and I separated myself. And everyone knew after Josh, it was me.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. So things just took off from there.
Took off from there. Okay, so now you're getting later into your university career, and I know in your last year, you were killing it, bro. Everybody's like, he's Kobe, man. He's Kobe, bro. Just give him the ball. He's Kobe. He's getting buckets.
Yeah. Well, prior to my last year, I had a crazy knee injury, so and that was the first of many in my career. So I tore my ACL, and again, I had to revamp. I had to change, and I was probably a little more selfish back in my first couple years. It was all about me at the time. And, my fourth and fifth year, especially after that knee injury, our team was solid. So I had to, humble myself and buy into that role more, and it was a good thing.
Okay. So let's touch on this injury a little bit. So you tore your ACL. So can you break that down a little bit for people that don't know?
Well, that is the anterior cruciate ligament inside of my right knee. So that is your stability ligament, basically. You tear that, your knee is pretty wobbly. You can't cut, you can't move, you can't really do anything.
Can't do anything. So how long were you out for?
10 months.
10 months.
10 months.
Damn. So what was some of the things that you were doing or thinking about when it was time to work to get back to season?
Well, when it first happened, I didn't want to work. I was pissed. I was depressed for like 2 weeks. I started watching Breaking Bad. doing a whole bunch of things I'm not going to talk about on camera at the time. So for 2 weeks I was just in my feelings, just mad and angry, cussing and all type of stuff. But after that, you know, I got back with my trainer and started building my body back up. And it takes a long time, but it's worth it. You know, like in hindsight, like 10 months doesn't seem like anything right now.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going through that process again right now, but you know, it doesn't seem like it, like, you know, like a long time. But as soon as you get through it, you know, and like that's where the patience comes in. You gotta, you know, like you gotta exercise that in order to get anything or get anywhere. So that was a test. I passed the test. I wouldn't let an injury defeat me. I think a lot of people after it happened thought I'd be done or whatever the case was, but I came back a better player, way better teammate, and I'm most proud of that part, is the teammate part. So we finished third that year, and my last year was when things happened. And then as soon as my last year ended, I was blessed with an opportunity to go, you know what I mean, to go play in the NBA. So I mean, things happen full circle. I went from such a shit situation to being one of the only Canadians to ever come out of CIS. You know what I mean?
And I think you paved the way for a lot of people
to come out of Canada. I would never say that, but if you think so, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you paved the way, because like I see Johnny, one of your teammates before.
That's right.
He went and I saw him like, damn, yo, Warren went. Johnny's going right after.
And
like
Caleb is on his way now too. So and I hope there's more and more to come. But that school's produced a lot of good players, whether they play pro or not. Ottawa U has produced a lot of good players. I know we didn't win, a national championship, but in terms of, you know, good basketball players, you know, Ottawa U's winning that.
Okay. So you sounds like you've been growing like crazy throughout your whole journey. So now let's get into when you start playing pros and you start playing overseas. Tell us about some things that were going on over there.
Well, my first experience, I was in Germany. So I played BBL in Germany, which is the top division there, and that was an interesting experience too. I had to learn a lot. I probably wasn't ready necessarily to. I want to say do what it took every day, but that sounds kind of cliche, so I won't say that. But what I will say though is, it's not glamorous. Like, people think playing overseas, it's a grind. Like you just have to imagine, like, if this is your job now, right?
Yeah, so it becomes a business now. Before 100%. Before when 100%. You were in university, high school, all that, you were doing what you love
to do, right?
And now you're getting paid for it, so it becomes your job. It has to change a little bit.
I have school to kind of, you know, like keep me kind of distracted. Like, if basketball is going shit, that's all good. I can, you know, I can still get an A. But just imagine now, you take school out the equation. Someone's paying you to do this, right? So if you have a shit game, shit week of practice, just think about that. Like, yo, your whole emotions now, everything about you is tied into this. Yeah. So if I'm not playing well, I feel like life sucks, right? And the fact that, like, yes, I'm in a foreign country for sure, and it's beautiful that I'm over there, and every day it's amazing. But like, even if I'm traveling to, like, you know what I mean, to like another city or another country, I'm only in a hotel and a bus. Yeah. I'm not really getting to explore, you know. So I've seen a lot of places for sure in Europe, but it's a grind over there. So I would never say it's the best job in the world, for sure. I would do it until I was 40 if I could, right? But I just want people to understand that this is not something that's, you know, glamour. And yes, you know what, like you know, there is tons of money you can make over there, and it's a great life. Yeah. But it's a grind. Okay. And you have to be mentally strong. So that's something I had to learn, and I want to say adapt to. When I was there.
Okay, so off topic a little bit. You said, like, you got to go to so many different places. What was your favorite place and why?
Favorite city?
Favorite city, yeah.
My favorite city is Berlin.
Berlin?
Yeah, Berlin kind of reminds me of Toronto. Yeah. I can go through the list then. I can go. I have a few favorites.
Okay, so tell us.
The next is Luxembourg. Why? Luxembourg is just beautiful, man. Like, you look outside, it's like there's like. It almost looks like there's different levels, and you see these bridges connecting everything. It doesn't look real. It just looks like someone made it up in like a Lego or something, you know? Okay. Third favorite would be Amsterdam.
Amsterdam?
Yeah. Shout out to the women in Amsterdam.
Hey, this guy's going everywhere.
Yeah, they got some beautiful women in Amsterdam. That country's gorgeous. Not even the weed part, not the partying part, just the architecture. I'm a huge architecture guy, so I like to see the river and the little things, like all in the, you know, like all those little bridges and the cars
Yeah.
parked up on the side of each other. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. I've been to Europe, and that's one of the things I like the most about Europe is the views. Like
Yeah,
the views there, the views and the food, like
can't beat that.
Too fire.
No, can't beat too fire. No, you can't beat that, man. I like the mix of the old and the new, and if I could travel Europe and get paid for it, so if there's anyone who wants to employ anybody to travel, I'm your guy.
Hey, that's the guy right there. Okay, so you played in Germany. So when you were in Germany, was there a language barrier at all, or
No,
they speak English?
I think they speak more English there than they do German.
Yeah.
Yeah, France definitely language barrier. They don't want to speak no English over there.
No, so,
And,
so how was the experience then when you were in France?
Not the best.
Not the best, no.
Not the best. No, I enjoyed it, but between the other two, between Spain and Germany, I prefer those two way more.
Okay, so then tell us a little bit about Spain.
Well, Spain, I was there longer. France was that was a way shorter stint. So Spain was, out of all the places, Spain's the best life.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Very cheap for food, very good food, beautiful people.
No language barrier?
I mean, of course, yeah, but at least
They speak more English there?
they try to.
Yeah.
They try to. That's
Okay.
that's what's most important. They try to. Even if they can't, they do try.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed being there, and honestly, I tried to learn Spanish too. So
That's dope.
yeah. So I took lessons in German also when I was there. So we tried to learn a little bit of both.
Okay. All right, so I know you were talking about injuries, and you said you were,
Yeah.
how many times were you injured?
In my career, I've had four different surgeries.
4 different surgeries. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the injuries. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the surgeries,
Yeah.
and let's talk about the road that you had to take to get back from them.
Mhm.
Because I know that is like it's tough,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna build like so much strength in you, like in you.
Yeah. Well, I did my ulnar collateral. That's in my thumb. I did that when I was in university also.
Mm-hmm.
Tore both my ACLs and my knees, and I popped my Achilles as a professional also. So I've done, the first one was my knee, then the second one was my Achilles, and then this last one was my knee when I was in Spain.
So which one do you think you learned the most from?
Learned the most, the first one.
The first one?
Yeah. The two most frustrating were the Achilles and then this knee.
And would you say like you learned the most because of like you became a better teammate from that?
Yes.
Amazing.
I became a way better teammate after that, for sure.
So,
And then my Achilles, that one kind of made me a little bitter, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I got over that quickly because I don't even really remember going through the rehab process anymore. It wasn't that long. But then this last one with my knee, that one also was pretty devastating.
Okay.
Just because of, where I was headed and the path that I thought I was on. But that is life. So.
Mhm. Okay, so probably the last time I seen you, you were telling me about your concept of A to Z.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been talking about your A to Z. You want to break it down a little bit more for the people and just kind of walk them through your A to Z?
Okay, well, first of all, no one steal the idea, or else I'll know. I'm just joking. No, so my A to Z would be when I started, which was when I was 13, 14, playing basketball. So that's A, right? And Z would be the epitome of that. So right now I'm 28, and I would say then that Z would be, making money, having a nice place, a car, family, good, things that everyone kind of wants. But the other 24 letters in between that are the 4 surgeries.
Yeah.
Are the things that you don't see. Is me battling, my own mind and telling me, I should quit, I should stop, I should keep going. Me having to go through, all the financial hurdles because all these injuries cost me money.
Mm.
So, things that I wanted to do, I couldn't do anymore because I had to, I had to sacrifice and still have the faith and still have the, the mindset to be like, no, you're not a failure. These things just happen. So battling all that, all the insecurity, all those things, those are the 24 letters that people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the story. And that's a story that everyone has.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't really share that because it may be embarrassing or you don't feel comfortable talking about it. But in this, in this phone and Instagram world, when everything looks happy and pretty and all that shit,
Yeah.
it isn't.
Yeah.
You're going through your shit, and I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you are. You can take all the photos you want.
Yeah.
I know everyone's going through some sort of not trauma, but
Yeah.
some sort of problem.
And I think that's what builds you, and that's what makes you the person that you are.
That you are, for sure, and I agree with that. And that's why even things, because listen, there could be at least 4 A to Z's, and they could last at 13 years or 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you start something and you're like, okay, this part of my life is done now, that's a chapter, and there's a lot of shit that you did in between there that brought you to the end point. And the goal then is to be like, okay, well, when I started, so when I'm 13, I'm 28 now, I'm a way better person.
Hell yeah.
I'm a way better person. I know so much more. I'm doing more. I have friends that respect me, and that to me tells me that, look, like, I'm on the right path. So now it's time for me to start over at 8 and go through it again.
Okay, perfect. So let's bring it. So now you're transitioning, and you just wrote a book.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know where it came from. You just showed up here one day.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, I got my children's book. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, Amazon copped it. I went and copped it like right away.
Yeah.
I read it. It's an incredible book. Everybody needs to get it.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
tell us a little bit more about the book and what sparked it. What made you want to be like, okay, I'm gonna write a children's book.
Well, I can't take credit for the original idea to write a children's book. I want to write a book or write a movie and just get something, that was creative out into the world, because I'm a believer that if you're smart enough to be an athlete, I think you're smart enough to do anything that you want to do, and you shouldn't let anyone tell you any differently. So what happened was, I was like, okay, look, I believe I am a multidimensional person, and I can do so many different things. So I'm gonna start with this. So I brought it to a mentor of mine. I'm like, look, this is my idea. He's like, oh, this is good. You should start with the youth, because he is all into the youth. And I'm like, that's a good idea, because a child's mind is like a sponge.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the same thing. I can tell a kid. A kid's looking at me like, you're this big tall guy. Like,
they're gonna listen to you.
Exactly. They're gonna listen to me. If I tell an adult the same idea, unless it clicks with them, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is cool. Some people be like, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. You could tell a kid something, and they'll remember that for the rest of their life. They're like, oh, I remember that one day Warren said this, and so I just been living like that my whole life.
For sure. And I can think of things in my childhood that stuck with me. You know what I mean? Whether it's my dad, who to me, at the time, like, I thought my dad was like a hero. I thought this guy was Batman or something. You know what I mean? Like, he just at work all day, come home, and the mask comes off, and there's Pops. But at the time, like, yo, this guy's my hero, right? Which he still is.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be that for a kid, but instead of doing a basketball camp that lasts a week long or 2 weeks long, if I write something down and they can always go back and reference it, then I'm impacting. I'm literally impacting someone's life. And if an adult could take something from it, then a child can actually absorb it.
Yeah.
And it can become part of their DNA. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So I wasn't big on advertising for it or trying to get people to buy it. I was just more so, if this is something that I did, if you know about it, I trust you, and if you want to share it, go ahead. And so far, it's had a really good reception. I'm doing pretty well with it, and I enjoy the reviews. Like a kid yesterday, this little girl in London, she took the book to school. So I'm things like that just make me happy. You know what I mean?
You're killing it.
Yeah,
you're killing it.
Things like that make me really happy.
Okay, so you've created a crazy amount of success in your life. Like I told you in the beginning, like me, every single one of my friends wanted to be a professional basketball player. I'm sure like all your friends wanted to also. Yeah. But so what do you think are some really like key habits that were important for you in helping you become a professional basketball player?
Well, what book did I give you the other day?
The Power of Self-Discipline.
Bang.
That shit is fire. Pure fire. I recommend it to everybody. It's the best book I read in 2018.
My man.
The Power of Self-Discipline. No excuses.
None.
I don't remember who it's by. You know who it's by?
You know what? I don't remember either. I just know the name.
Brian Tracy.
Perfect.
Brian Tracy.
Brian
Okay.
Tracy, yeah. Yeah, you know what? We should know that. But I think I've always had discipline enough to do what it takes for me to be a good basketball player. Because I'm not the most talented, not the most athletic,
Mm-hmm.
but I did have the discipline to be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, and I won't look. Anyone who knows me knows I love to party, I love to have my fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it never interfered with what I did. So I could party on a Friday, but I'll be in the gym for Saturday, Sunday, all day long. Now,
Yeah.
is it the best habit to do? No, probably not. But regardless of that,
You're still gonna get that work.
I'm still gonna do what it needs to do. I'm gonna do it more times than I'm having my fun, because in order to be successful, you got to do what you got to do when you got to do it.
Okay, I like that. I
So
like that.
that is why I've been able, I think, to have some sort of some sort of success. Now, do I have talent in basketball? For sure, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I maximized it by being disciplined in my work ethic and the fact that I enjoy working.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay, so recently you came by here. You got your 21s board. You got your high
Yeah.
performance matrix.
Yeah.
And you decided
man,
to
thank
start. You decided to start meditation.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, the first week you gave it to me though, after I was texting you, didn't do it. Maybe like the week after, I didn't do it. After Caravana started, and I'm so happy I did that. Like my mind, like I can actually. So when I first started, I told you that I couldn't stop. Like I couldn't shut up.
Yep.
Like in my mind, mind is a million. Now I'm starting to. So when I'm into it, I'm relaxing. And I can start my day afterwards, and I feel just ready. Like it's just weird. It's just ready. So
Yes.
starting with that, now it's and it's crazy. Like now I wake up in the morning and like I want to go to my little area and do it now. It's like before it's like, okay, I gotta do this and I gotta do it. Now it's like I'm waking up and I'm like, yo, this I'm doing this, and this is something that mind, body, spirit, everything wants to do.
Yes.
So I go sit down in my chair, which is over in the corner. I sit in complete darkness, except for yesterday, and I do my thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so-
All right. So now, after everything that you've been through, everybody's heard this. They're probably like, "Yo, this guy, he's killing it." So, what's one tip that you would give someone to help improve their life? If you could just give one tip, what would it be?
Don't make excuses.
Don't make excuses.
For anything that deep down that you have control over.
Mm-hmm.
So, like people always say, I can't stop eating such and such. You have control over what to eat.
Yep.
You just made a choice that you don't want to do. It's not important enough for you.
Yep.
Right? On a positive note, I would say practice adaptation, because that's real strength.
Yes.
And I'm a believer in that. The person that can adapt the most is really the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the person that can lift the most weight. It's not the person that has the most perfect life, because nobody's life is perfect. So if you can adapt to whatever comes your way, you'll be good.
Amazing. Okay, it was great having you on the show.
Thank you.
So let's first tell the people where can they find you on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. I don't even remember my Instagram. Warren Ward 10. Yeah, Warren Ward 10.
Can you spell that?
WarrenWard 10. You can find me there, and then it's Warren's_World 10 on Twitter. I tweet quite a bit, so if you want to follow me there, please do. The book, my youth book, if you have any nephews, or for yourself, because there's something in there for everybody. It's called The Quest of Clyde McCall. It's on Amazon. It's on Chapters. It's on Indigo, if that's a separate one. Basically, you can Google it. You can type it anywhere, and it should be available to you. So if you want to support that, you can. There will be more on the way. More content coming.
Okay, The Quest of Clyde McCall. Go
Yes,
get
sir.
the book.
Yes,
Read the
sir.
book. It's a good book. But other than that, man, this is the Continual Growth podcast, and all we want to do here is we want to help people grow.
Yes, sir.
So, for those of you that are listening, if you got something out of this episode, tell a friend, send it to a friend, subscribe, because the whole point is for us to grow, help others grow. We're all growing together, and that's how we're going to start to kill every day and own our fucking lives.
Man.
Bless up!